Sonny, Joey, 500. Got some goats in the building.
Get ready for a shakedown.
Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man. Y'all get it. My QB got swag. My wideout is award winning. This fly was fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown.
Here
comes the shakedown.
Let's go.
Yo, by the way, Kick Dick by here. Welcome to another Philly Shakedown podcast with your host, Philly 500, and the better man, Joey Shakes. What's happening tonight, my man?
I don't think I'm the better man, but I hope we're the better team tomorrow. I think that's the question. Becoming 5-0, getting by another game. That's all that matters.
That's a great question. It is really. Can we get to 5-0? We're going to talk about it tonight. What is going on, everybody? Philly Nation 307, Deep Space wants to put pineapple on pizza. I'm not a fan. Wisconsin Eagle fan. Nuke. My basement. Spike. Twits. What's going on? Fly. Rise. Fly. DB Talk. DB Talking. 40. Twiz. Logan. Michael. Thank you guys all for being here. Chris is here. Uncle Nate. Key, Try, Donnie, Texas boy, he's here for more abuse. Donnie, Brian, Michael, Robert, everybody, and if I missed anybody, I apologize. Dalton Gray, a member for 20 months. Thank you so much. He goes, you man, Denzel, go Birds. Go Birds is right. And then Roro, thank you. Welcome to Tip Full of Dingbats, buddy. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you so much. Thank you. And also congratulations to the Philadelphia Phillies, who just won 3-0 game one versus the Braves. They are going to win the World Series this year. It is going to happen. And tonight was a good game from what I watched. I was out with my wife at a restaurant, so I was watching from there. It was fun. But, yeah, Phillies, we'll see what happens. I like that they took game one. Congrats, Phils and my Rangers. Yes. Let's see here. John says, let's go, Phils. How's it going? What's going on, my man? I don't know what this means, but I'll ask him if I could click on it and find it. Joey, do you swipe left or right? I think it's what it said. I don't even know what the hell that means. What does that mean?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I know it's something to do with like online, but I don't know what it means.
Yeah.
Eagles coach said, Decide needs to go learn how Jim Johnson used to coach this defense. Yeah, well, and just to get into this game, man, I look at this game, and I do think it's the Eagles' toughest matchup of the year, but I don't think it's something that the Eagles can't win. I really think that this is like we got to start holding Desai accountable because, I mean, you're going into your fifth game. Every team has pretty much approached you the same way. And if you can't make adjustments at this point, then when are you going to do it?
Yeah, I mean, you made Washington look a lot better than they were. I mean, Sam Howell only had like 11 incompletions that game, and this defense is ranked 18th overall, but their pass defense is ranked 27th. That's not good. They're giving way too much yards underneath. It's a fixable problem that the Eagles feel like, well, if they're winning this way, then why don't they just keep doing it? But here's the thing, like, why'd you pay Bradbury? Why are you paying guys in your secondary if you're not going to use them for the one thing they're good at, which is covering? And it's like you can move your corners back, blitz your linebackers, middle of the field wide open, and it's a huge problem right now. So it's like paying a quarterback and him not throwing the football all game, every game. It's like the same thing. And it's nothing that's not fixable, but it's alarming. I think I think better teams are going to figure it out. And you haven't even faced the best teams yet. The second half of the season, you still got the Bills, you still got KC, you still got a lot of good teams. I think what I'm going to look forward to, not even just this game, but even next game, the game after against the Jets, how good are they going to make Zach Wilson? Is he going to throw for 325, 330 with 3 touchdowns? Like it's going to show you. It really is.
That's where Philly 500 absolutely loses his mind. Like that's when I go. That's my breaking point. Zach Wilson coming out and tearing us up. That's my breaking point, because listen, they got some weapons tomorrow. You look at, Cup is coming back. This Nakua. I mean, dude's
Puka
on a record.
Nuka. I call him Puka Nuka.
Nuka Puka, whatever the hell it is. Dude's on a record-setting pace right now. Dude's got like 39 catches, over 500 yards. He's going to shatter rookie records receiving it if he stays on his pace. Stafford, you know what he's going to do. He's going to come out. He's going to throw the ball quickly. He's going to try to get rid of the ball, like 2 seconds, get rid of the ball. And if you're playing 8 yards off those receivers, they're going to catch the ball 3 yards down the field, and they're going to run for another 4 or 5 yards. And the Rams will take that all day. They don't have a great offensive line. So to me, this game's about Sean Desai. Is Sean Desai going to make the adjustments that he has not made in 4 weeks? That's the question to me about this game. If he doesn't, I think this is a lot closer game than it needs to be. If he does, I think the Eagles beat the crap out of this team. I really do.
I believe it. I agree with it 100%.
Porterville says, I'm not feeling good about tomorrow. Rams' strengths are the Eagles' weaknesses. Donald is going to probably destroy Opeta, and Cup and Nakua will chew up our soft zone. Well, there's no question I worry about Cup and Nakua. I worry about the Rams' passing game. I don't sweat their running game. And, I don't, defensively, I don't really sweat them too much. I mean, Donald's a monster. There's no question. But he's never had a sack against the Eagles. Never. So they've done a good job with him in the past,
Yeah, we've played the trap game on him well in the past, and really hasn't touched our quarterbacks at all. I mean, I think Kelsey will slide to protection, probably give a little bit of help, most likely. And, this defense in general, like we were talking about before, like, what is Sean Desai going to do? And I feel like it really depends on what they do at nickel this week, because I know, we didn't talk about the signing of Bradley Roby, which was big for this team to get a nice veteran into the nickel spot. And has he had enough work this week to play in that spot? I mean, with the terminology of the defense, and is he up to par with everything? Because there is a chance that the Eagles might have to deal with Bradbury one more week on the inside with Job on the outside, which I really don't feel comfortable with. Cooper Kupp coming back, as long as the hamstring apparently, I don't know if he's not 100% or he is 100%, or they're making it look like he's not 100% at all. But if he's not 100%, he most likely will be a decoy, just lining him up in places, and they're going to move him around. I feel like he is more than healthy in this game, so it's going to be something to watch out for.
Well, the question I have is how much would they play him, even if he is healthy? Like, is he gonna be on limited snaps? That'll be a big question tomorrow. But yeah, the Eagles defense is going to have to play different, or they're going to have a problem. Jay Hoffa says, I don't think this game is going to be close at all, not even a little bit. Plus, it's going to be another home game for us again. Fly Eagles fly, Bird Gang till you die. Yeah, listen, part of me, I have the feeling of that. I've been getting the 2017 vibes of the Chargers game. You remember that Chargers game? We come off after the game-winning field goal. Was a 61-yarder by Elliott. We beat the Giants, and then we go and we're all talking about the Chargers. That could be a tough game. That's gonna be a tough game. Turns out it was a game where we dominated. Like, I feel like it could be that kind of game also. But I really think if Desai doesn't adjust his defense at all, I think we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah, and I feel like he's not going to adjust. I don't know. I'm not seeing. There's nothing really showing me right now that change is coming soon. And I feel like before really, I'm looking for major change on both sides of the ball. The offense, I'm not really worried about too much. I feel like we're almost there. Defensively, I think they got to get prepared before the Miami Sunday night game. Like that's like the game. Like, the Eagles should win the rest of these games. The next 2 games, the Eagles should win, no doubt. I'm not taking it for granted, but we are better than the Rams. We can be better than the Rams. We are better than the Jets, no doubt. But that Miami game is where I'm looking at, where both sides really have to put this whole thing together, because how much more time are you gonna need? So
right. In flight 215. Thank you for the super chat. He goes 500. 500 would go up the run or air against the. I think you can. I mean, I think you'll be able to do both, but I think tomorrow is a DeAndre Swift game. Like, I think that you can really run the ball effectively especially early in that game, and it'll really open up things in the passing game. Rams have been pretty decent actually against the pass, but not so much against the run. The Eagles should be able to run on them, and I think that DeAndre Swift's going to have a monster game tomorrow. That's what I think.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah,
I think it's a run game for the Eagles. Geo dude, a member for 17 months. He goes, I think Joey stole my wife. Joey. I don't know. You're gonna have to hire a private investigator. Chris B, thank you for super chat. He goes, McVay said no snap count for Cup, full go. Well, then that's that.
We'll see.
I mean, listen, Cooper Kupp's good. I mean, you look at Kupp and the way this other kid's playing. I mean, it's got to scare you with how we've played our secondaries play. It just does. You know it's going to be like a lot of slants, a lot of quick passes, and they're just going to keep taking what the Eagles give them until the Eagles adjust, until you bring up your corners and you start pressing a little bit, playing a little man at times. They're going to do it, especially when it's 3rd and 3. Why do you have why is your corner 8 yards back? I just never understand that line of thinking.
I get it.
Shizzo Flex, thank you for super chat. Goes, relax. The defense is fine. It's hard to play consistent when it's different people every week. Everybody wants to come to press until they get burnt. Well, listen, the thing about it is you've got to adjust at some point. You can't allow these teams to keep doing the same thing every week and not adjust. I'm not saying you have to press every down, but there are times where you've got to risk the big play. You've got to take a chance, and they don't do it. And to me, it makes this game a lot harder than it has to be. If you can make Stafford have to hold the ball with that line, Stafford gets hit a lot. He's already got a bad hip. So I think this could potentially be a huge breakout game for Jalen Carter. Like I think Jalen Carter could have a monster game this game, or Jordan Davis. Like I think it's set up for them, but they're going to have to give those guys on the line help. They got to help them out and let that quarterback, let Stafford hold the ball just a little longer.
So what is your plan for, since Tupelutu is out, Marlon's out with the triceps, Fletcher Cox is out just for this game with the back shot, whatever. So I mean, my plan going to this game for the defensive line. So I feel like Jalen Carter's not getting a lot of reps. He hasn't really got a lot. He's been very productive. 20 pressures already this year. I mean, just fantastic. I think they just need to give him more reps. I feel like he needs to, not play, I'm not saying he's going to play every snap the whole entire game, but at least with both lines, he should start at both lines for a couple rotations and then, sub some guys in and let him play a lot more than he has since Marlon and Fletch is out. So I don't know what your plan is with that.
I think Jalen Carter. I think Jalen Carter needs to play a lot tomorrow. And you still got guys like Street, and I think Williams. I mean, you got still guys that can rotate in. So I'm not even worried about that. And if you really want to get creative, on passing downs, if you have to give Carter, you want to get Carter off the field if he needs rest. I mean, you could always put Brandon Graham inside for passing downs.
Oh yeah,
3rd and long, because he has been very effective. From that inside on passing downs before anyways. So, I think they've got the horses to basically do what they need to do to adjust to that, And I think that this is the kind of defense. I think this line is the kind of line that is perfect for the Eagles to basically do, kind of have a big game, but you gotta get help in the secondary, man. You've got to get them to hold the ball a little longer, in my opinion.
I don't see why Roby wouldn't be playing. Like, I could see that he's not ready, but really, how much does he, in a few days of practice, do they seriously have to sit him? Does he not know the calls? Does he not know the terminology of the defense yet? I just feel like he's ready, and are the Eagles really going to rest him this week?
I think they're going to play him. I think he's going to.
I hope so. I hope.
Yeah. Diedrich Busby, thank you for super chat, my man. He didn't say anything, but thank you so much, my man. Appreciate it. Drew says we need to just run all over them and control time of possession, but that should be the plan every week until somebody stops it. I mean, listen, I think the Eagles offensively, they got the weapons. I really feel like last week versus Washington, I really thought the offense is starting to come along. I think the passing game's starting to come along. And I think the offense will be fine. You know, the question I have about the offense really is Quez Watkins is back this week. Do you put Oz back at the fourth receiver now, or is Quez going to be the fourth receiver?
Oz should be starting. Oz should be starting. I don't care. You're not a guy coming off injury on a really important game right now. Quez has got to fight for his spot. I'm sorry, but it's already enough. We haven't got wide receiver threes barely involved a few times this year. Barely the tight ends involved. Like there's just so much more we have to do and get this ball around a little bit more because the tight ends. I mean, that's probably my number one problem with this offense right now is Dallas Goedert just has to be involved. It's just you don't even have Jack Stahl involved or Calcutta. Like none of them. I mean, it's rare right now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, tight ends really it's been quiet. I'm not really concerned about that yet. My biggest problem with this offense is I don't like the way they use the running backs. Like, for example, I don't like that Swift comes out for 3-4 series, right? Like he came out for like 3 series in that game versus Washington. He came out mid-second quarter and he didn't get another carry until the second drive of the third quarter. That's a long time for him to be just sitting there on the sideline because you got the rest of the second quarter, then you have off halftime, then you come out and then you have to wait one whole possession and then get the ball back. Like if you don't want to use him 20 times a game, I understand it, but why can't you work him in between those 3-4 drives? You know, that 3rd and 11, they hand off to Gainwell. Why didn't you, first of all, you shouldn't hand it off. But if you're going to hand it off, why would you hand it off to Gainwell, not Swift there? Why didn't Swift come in the game on that down? I don't like the way they try to use run. There is no more, we are beyond running back by committee. That train's left the building. It is now DeAndre Swift is your number one back. You've got to treat him like one, in my opinion. That's my biggest issue.
If you want to give Swift rest, because I honestly, dude, like I don't care what anybody says. I think if you had Swift as your number one runner and he was going to be like, you know, I think he could handle 20 plus a game. I think he could really handle it, but I understand we're not doing that, and I wouldn't do that anyway. But on specific downs where it's 3rd and long, or if that's what you want to do, like I feel like they have to put him in for the important moments if they want to rest him for a couple series. But wow, we really need Swift on this play on this 3rd and long. We really need him in there, and they just use the wrong back. It's just, how do they not see that Swift can be more important for those big downs that they're not using it for? I don't get it. Rashad Penny's not playing. He's a wasted roster spot at this point. Wasted. Like someone else could be moved up right now.
And he might be better than Gainwell. But we don't know. He doesn't get a chance to play.
True.
You know? Fab Folder 93 member for 17 months. Thank you so much. He was shout to Israel. I got word me and others are going. What do you mean? You're going to Israel? What are you talking about? I know it's going crazy over there. I was watching the news. But what do you mean you're going? You got to fill me in, man. But shout out to him, yes. Shizzo, a favorite super chat. He goes, this is why it would have been smart for them to go young in the secondary. That's how greatness defenses are born. Consistency. Both cornerbacks won't be here in 2 years. Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I don't mind them keeping those guys. But you should if you're going to play zone. Yeah, what's the point of having them? Diedrich Busby, thank you for super chat, goes, I think they should put Ringo at safety and Rick at slot. I'm definitely okay with Ringo eventually playing safety. I think that's where he's going to fit. But, you know, that's for another day. I mean, what I'm saying, you know, is I don't mind that they work Gainwell in, and I don't mind that they want to save, Swift. What I don't like is that there's 3-4 series in a row where he's just not in. Like, you know, take him out, couple downs, put him back in for 1 down, take him out. Like, why can't we rotate these guys in and out? Why are we going 3-4 series that are turning into 45 minutes to an hour before he sees the field again? I think that's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, and even when Boston Scott's active last week, they barely used him either. So it's like I feel like they're using Boston Scott when it's like I feel like they're preparing certain running backs for specific plays, and I don't know. I feel like every week the game plan is different for specific running backs. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but they should know that who your number one guy is. Or if you rest Swift for a series, that's fine. But like for the most important downs, he really needs to be in there because the explosiveness, just his vision in general, and upon physicality, he could take bodies for a few more yards. Like he just has that. He could run around a whole defense and get a first down. I mean, we saw it last week. I mean,
dude, he was open on a pass play. Hurts overthrew him. That was a touchdown. Well, to me, the offense, when he's on the field, the offense looks completely different to me. I really believe that the defenses are very aware of where Swift is and where he is on the field. And when Gainwell's out there, it's like the defense gets a break. It's like one less thing that we have to worry about. So we'll see. We'll see. Robert says, make a trade for Brian Burns. At least he'd be a great threat. What do you think about going after Brian Burns at the trade deadline?
Really depends what it's going to cost. I mean, he's got one. I don't know what his deal is. He's got one more year left. I haven't looked at it, so I don't know. I mean, to get another guy like that, why not?
I think he's last year's contract. I think he's on the trade block. Him, Chase Young. There's a lot of guys on the block. We saw Chase Claypool got traded to Miami. I think the Eagles are going to do something. I just don't know what.
Yeah, I mean, your linebackers seem shored up, so I mean, give it another, see what happens. See how better the linebackers get. Nicholas Morrow had Pro Bowl numbers last week, so and Zach Cunningham's playing well. And you're out Sidney Brown this week for the hamstring for the second week in a row now. So at least we're getting Justin Evans back because Terrell Edmonds should not play at all. I think he's horrible. I just hasn't really played up to par. So
yeah. Wesley Rock says, why do I get timed out? You shouldn't be getting timed out. I don't know why you would be getting timed out. It's not me to time you out. But what I need you to do is tell me who timed you out, and then I will go back later and take a look and figure out what's going on. But you should not be timed out. You're a pain in the ass. There's no question about it. But those aren't timeable, outable offenses. It is perfectly legal to be a pain in the ass on this channel. Dude, did you hear about Bad Dog went off on me?
No.
So the Giants are getting their ass kicked on Monday night.
Right.
And I'm streaming the game and I'm laughing. And I'm playing my old intro of Bad Dog. And I don't know what people must have said something to him and he went off on me. He's like, Philly 500 can suck he's never seen his own pee-pee. He needs to lose weight. Tell him to lose weight. Oh, dude, it was so funny.
Oh my God.
He was so mad. And he wasn't really mad at me. He was pissed off at the Giants. But I was I lit the fuse, I guess. So he texted me like later. He's like, dude, I'm so sorry. I wasn't mad at you. I was just so mad at the Giants. And it was so funny, dude. It was hilarious. Of course, I have to get all that stuff and keep it as a times. I have to keep it for different sound clips and stuff like that. Yeah. But dude, it was hilarious. Dude, he went off. It was great. Did you say no? I did not say that. No, I did not. That's what people said. I said he was Roy Rage or something. I didn't say anything like that. At least I don't think I did. But if I did, it would have been after he went off. But Bad Dog's cool. He's like, man, I didn't mean it. So I didn't mean it. I'm not mad at you. I just was, pissed about the Giants, and it was like that one thing. I don't know what people told him, but I mean, how could I not sit there and laugh at the Giants getting their ass kicked by Seattle? I mean, it was such a joy. It was such a joy. Just like on Thursday night, it was such a joy watching the Bears beat the crap out of Washington.
40 points.
I mean, geez. And you want, how did they go to overtime?
But dude, but this is what I'm saying. Well, no, I think there's a lot to do with that. Like, we didn't play good on a short week. Short weeks suck, dude. Like, teams that have to, they didn't have to travel, which was a good thing for them. But I think when you come off an emotional overtime win or loss, I think that definitely affects you going into, especially on top of a short week. I don't think that really helped. And I think that they took the Bears lightly. I really do. And I don't think I don't think Washington ran the ball enough in the first half. I think they were slinging it way too much. They had four rookies in the secondary for the Bears. I mean, they were leaving DJ Moore. I mean, 8 receptions for 200.
Oh
230
God,
yards. It's crazy,
He's
dude.
destroyed
Forbes
with that
and
kid,
Kendall
man.
Fuller got destroyed.
Forbes was having a emotional breakdown on the side. Like, dude, yeah,
He's
he went
looking.
off. But but the thing that was interesting was they didn't play 10 yards off the Washington's receivers either. That defensive interior of the Bears was driving Washington nuts all day. And to me, if the Eagles would play that, it would be the same thing,
True.
Shout out to Bad Dog though. I just thought it was so fun. It was just funny. It was classic. Night Rider David Super Chat goes, Dog, I think this game will be our breakout game, bro. Also, we should go after Chin. I also think Rhino 98 is about to smoke Stafford. I think I'm getting seriously, I have vibes of that 2017 game versus the Chargers where LeGarrette Blount went off, remember? That I have a feeling it's going to be similar to that tomorrow. I do, because I have a feeling they're going to run the ball really well.
So
I really do. Where is this dude? I gotta time this friggin' moron again. Every time I try to give John Doe a break, he comes in here and does something moronic, and just hide him again. I'll unhide him in a month. He's go to jail for a month. You've been sent to jail for a month. Leon Banks, thank you for super chat, man. He goes, love you 500. Love spending my Saturdays with you. Oh man, love it too, man. Tomorrow's going to be a big day, Joey. I'm triple headering it. Pause. It's going to be a big day. Listen, Forbes needs counseling. Yes. Forbes got bent. Forbes went. Oh man, Forbes was like Fab Folder 92. Thank you for super chat. He goes, we are on standby to head back to the base on Israel. Oh, okay. Are you part of the army in Israel?
Yeah, I think he's in the army. I think you said that earlier.
Oh, okay, man. Well, my prayers go to you, man. Be safe. It sounds crazy out there. It sounds really crazy out there from what they've been showing. Would you rather let Eli Ricks play or continue to tolerate Slay? Oh, he's asking Chizzo. I listen. I think Slay needs to go man to man. When I'll get frustrated with Slay is when he's playing man coverage and he's shadowing a guy and he starts getting beat all the time. That's when I'll really do. When it's zone and the guy gets behind him in zone, I don't know. To me, it's
you're not getting the best out of your secondary when you have them sit back. Like how are they supposed? You know what I mean? Like how are they supposed to cover? I mean, it's every week, dude. Like it's every single week, and I'm just saying to myself, like, do we have to lose a game to make these changes? Like, I mean, we're seeing this every week. Like, is Nick Sirianni not reprimanding the side? Does he know that it's just I don't know. Like, I understand, like that's what Chicago did in the first half of that game. Like, they scored 27 points, and really that second half they played back. Just to, time consumption, just run that time clock, like leave everything underneath. Like that's what we do. That's what we did last year. That's what we're doing right now. The past 4 games. So we've been doing.
Right.
Exactly. It's crazy.
Yeah. Agreed. Bino says Slade doesn't guard wide receivers one most of the times in games. Let's not blame the defensive coordinator for that. But the defensive coordinator is a lot of times he's playing zone. A lot of times they're not even playing man. So a lot of times he's dropping back, and to me that's not the strength of Slay. What gets a cornerback, and this is my opinion, okay? And if the Eagles do this and it doesn't work out, I'll start to agree with you. But Slay is a kind of guy that needs to go up against the number one receiver. He needs that challenge. He gets up for games like that. I cannot stop thinking about that week 2 game last year versus Minnesota. I think Slay has that in him, but you got to put him on the best guy and say, follow him around. To me, that's truly how you got to use Slay. And if you're not using him then, you're putting him in zone, then to me, it's like, I don't know, when he's playing 9 yards off the guy and they throw a slant, what's he going to do? You know what I'm saying?
You have to give him.
I just don't feel like they use him right.
Yeah, you have to give him something to do. Like, I feel like when you leave somebody on like the other side of the field, and it's like, I feel like they, not saying they get lazy, but I feel like they take some plays off sometimes, or it's just like, well, I'm standing here. What else am I supposed to do? I mean, Slay said it in his podcast on YouTube a few days ago. He said, somebody asked him about why they're, what's the whole point of playing your corners back? And he said, we don't want to give up the big play. And sometimes I think And he actually said, like, there is communication issues with peeling off into coverage. There are communication issues. So if you're not getting these communication issues fixed, then why are you doing this in the first place? And then you have to rely on the tackling. When we miss an open field tackle, that's it. Like, if you can't make the tackle, it's a big play. It's a first down or more than that. And that's what you have to suffer for playing off ball like that. That's what happens.
Yeah.
So
I think that I think you can't always be so worried about giving up that big play. I think you worry about it, and there are times to really pin down on it and not. But I think you've got to take opportunities and be aggressive defense. I think because what happens is you end up dying by 1,000 paper cuts instead of the 1 or 2 strikes. And to me, I think you got to pick when to take a chance and not. Fab Folder says, I'm in the Marines. Always great to catch you live. Love you, 500. Enjoy. Pause. Thank you, man. And shout out to you. Thank you so much for your service, man.
Thank you for your service, bro.
God bless you, man. We're praying for you, man, and appreciate military. We both hold the highest regards. On this channel. T.L. Hopkins, thank you for the super chat, man. He goes, Stafford always has 3 touchdowns. We shouldn't be scared. He always has big games against us, too. Am I crazy? Or does Stafford always seem like he has huge games versus the Eagles?
So when it comes to
remember big games.
When it comes to the Rams, they're second in passing right now. They, as of right, I mean, he's dealing with the hip injury means absolutely nothing. I think he's going to get hit a lot in this game, but I think the Eagles are going to smack him around a little bit. They have some issues right now. So let me just go over like a few of the matchups or a few of the things that are going on with the Rams right now. So they have a left tackle issue right now. They have both 2 left tackles, 2 first and second string are banged up right now. So it could be a big one for Josh Sweat on that edge right there. Could take advantage of that. Jalen Carter versus Steve Avila. Steve Avila has played very good at left guard, really well. A solid rookie this year. So I mean, I think Carter's could beat anybody. I don't care what they. I think he could definitely beat him, rookie on rookie. So. Akello Witherspoon, a cornerback that signed with the Rams this year. AJ Brown has faced Akello Witherspoon last year. He was with the Steelers. He scored, 2 touchdowns on him with 75 yards. So I think the Eagles could definitely throw on this team. This might be as much as we could see that DeAndre Swift might have a big game. I think AJ Brown's going to have another big game this week. I think he will have another big game.
He might.
So
Shane Davis Super Chick goes, every top cornerback clamps Jefferson. Jair Alexander from Green Bay. Go watch them game versus Dallas. He was non-existent left out. Slay gets lunch took from Lamb and Terry. Listen. If you look at the Terry McLaurin, like if you look last week, McLaurin beat the Eagles a bunch of times on a slant route. Well, he's 10, 15 yards back.
Easy.
On him. The one time he comes up, they called a penalty, and he played it great. I don't even think it was a penalty, but he doesn't play. And listen, I'm not saying he'll never get beat. I'm not saying he hasn't lost. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that I think if you really want to get the most out of Slay, all I'm saying is if you want to get the most out of him, you gotta use him differently than you're using him because you're not playing to his strengths. That's all I'm trying to say.
I think I tested myself out, and like it was a few days ago, and I actually watched I think every highlight from every game just to see if defenses actually play like us, if we play off the ball. I swear to God, dude, I have not seen a team, whether it's obviously you're playing off the ball when it's 3rd and 25 or you're playing with 5 seconds left and they're on the 48 of their goal, whatever.
Right.
When you play obviously off the ball, you play for those reasons. But I have never seen a team play off the ball this much. The Washington Commander fans were complaining because that last throw that Hurts had to Devontae Smith that got Jake Elliott into field goal range, they played off the ball. And they were freaking out about that one play they were playing off the ball. And I said to myself, try playing like this the whole entire game, and you'll see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I'm not saying that you could never do it. I'm just saying you've got to mix it up. 3rd and 3, I don't think it helps you at all. If you got 3rd and 3 against Stafford and you got Kupp out there, you don't think he's going to throw it to Kupp right one step throw, the ball's gone. You're playing right into the quarterback's hands when you play that far back because they're trying to get rid of the ball quickly already because the pass rush of the Eagles. So you're already playing into their hands. I want to see this is week 5. There's got to be adjustments, and if I don't see adjustments from Desai tomorrow, then I'm gonna really start getting on his ass, dude. I'm gonna start getting on his ass.
Same thing.
Like to me, the honeymoon's over. It's week 5.
I know.
Eagles Army down under. David Super Chat goes, "Hey Shakes 500. Defensive coordinator said we're going to be aggressive. Corners giving 8 to 10 yard cushion is not being aggressive. No." And he said we were going to take on the personality of Philly and of the prior defenses that were with Philly. That was not how they played. It's not.
I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair that you're like, that's what Gannon did last year. Like, he depended on that 4-man pass rush. I mean, at least the good thing is we're blitzing, so that's good. We're blitzing a little bit here and there, which is fine. But you're depending way too much on your 4-man pass rush. You're depending way too much on your offense, and I feel like if allowing a field goal is the way you want to go, like, I feel like, allowing a field goal, I hate it. I hate just easy points scored. So I get it, but it sucks, man.
No, listen, we'll see what he does. I think if he comes out and he's a little more man, plays a little more aggressive, a little more press at the line, I think it would throw Stafford off. I think especially early in this game, and I think you would get to him early, you would hit him early, and you probably rattle him off a little bit, and I think that would benefit the Eagles. And then even if you adjust back to it because they're going to adjust and start trying to go deep, I'm okay with it. But like, just do something different. You know what I'm saying? Come out with a different plan. And we'll see. Bino says, still would like to see a $50 million cornerback guard the opposing wide receiver number 1 at Clay Wilson. Or am I asking? No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like, why do you need, and somebody said it earlier, just draft young corners. Like, you're just going to play zone. What do you need to pay a $50 million to a corner? You do that because you want him to shut down the number 1 wide receiver. Put him on there and let's see what happens. If he gets beat, then he gets beat. We can say that. Shane, David Super Chat goes, it's chess, not checkers. You play a fool to catch a fool. Why would you open up the playbook this early when we got week 7, week 14, all the top offenses relaxed 4-0? Yeah, I hear people say that all the time, like, oh, no, this is the plan. The plan week 1 isn't to use DeAndre Swift at all. Like, that's not, I don't believe that they're that, I don't believe that they're that big into planning as much as you think. We're talking about it's week, 4 games have been played. Every offense has done the same thing. And you mean to tell me while these games were on the line, the Eagles were holding back because it was only week 2 or week 3? They didn't want to win the game that much? I don't believe that. I don't believe it. I don't believe they're as smart as you think they are.
No, they're definitely not hiding it. They're not hiding anything. They're really trying to figure it out. They're really trying to figure it out.
Yeah. John Wick David Super Chat. He goes, Desai appears to be Gannon 2.0. Yeah, it's the same philosophy, I think he does blitz a little more, which I like, but I don't like that he doesn't help out the blitz. You know what I'm saying? Like, you blitz, but there are times that you're still, all they're doing is throwing the ball right away, and it's 4 or 5 yards of space.
That's even worse. Blitzing linebackers and your corners. If you don't get that, you don't pick up that sack. You don't make that play. It's a big play in the middle of the field, and I think that's what teams are doing. And you're going to get a smart quarterback that's going to. And I think Matt Stafford's not stupid. He knows what the Eagles do. He watches film. Every quarterback's going to watch film on this defense. So
we are 4-0, bro. What else do you want? I want to be 5-0.
Right.
I want to be 5-0.
Why should we be satisfied with 4-0? Like, why?
4-0 you don't get those Super Bowl rings for being 4-0. I want to be 5-0. I want to be 8-0. I want to have number 1, home field advantage. I want that bye week. All I'm saying is that when you get to the better teams, when you get to the tougher teams, they're going to kill you if you do what you're doing. And I think the Rams are a type of team that if you play the defense that you've been playing, you play right into their hands. Is my opinion. Is my thought.
And here's another thing. I'm just speaking for myself, but at the same time, I think Philly could probably agree with me. Like, at least the last couple weeks, like, me and Philly get a lot of shit for nitpicking at things. But am I supposed to say that this offense is perfect right now because of record? No, because we know. I mean, the Eagles they're what, fifth in point? I mean, they're fifth in points right now. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, that's nuts. Like, they're not even playing up to par right now, and they're only fifth in points. They could do so much better. And it's getting Jalen Hurts into a rhythm, but defensively, like I just don't want to. We went through this last year, and everyone was telling us to shut up. We're winning games. Gannon's doing this thing, and we were seeing the little signs of giving these other teams breathing room in the second half of these games. Don't say a word about it. And then where it screwed us up the most was the most important game of the season. So we're not holding back. We're not holding back nothing. We're not giving it.
It's not, and it's not like that. We don't think, like, I think they're gonna, like, I still pick them to win tomorrow.
Right.
But you gotta talk about their strengths. You also gotta talk about the negatives or the things they've got to get better at. It's not to, I'm not trying to downgrade the team, but we're trying to keep it balanced, somewhat. Listen, I get excited. We win. I have the cigar video. I don't spend a lot of time nitpicking the things that we need to improve on in those videos. There's a time and place for all of that. But right now, going into this game, I really think this is the toughest matchup they've had all year. I think this is the toughest game. And I want to see them play up to their ability, like I know that they can. Bino says, I would be on board with Patrick Surtain. Yeah, I would too. If they really want to trade him, I'm all about that. I mean, he's awesome.
You don't know how to use cornerbacks at this point. So even looking at it, I mean, what's the point of even getting a guy like Patrick Surtain if they're not going to use him the right way? There's no point in getting anybody at corner if you're not going to. You might as well throw Eli Ricks and Josh Jobe out there at this point.
Yeah,
like, really,
you could save a lot of money. Yeah. Shane, thank you for super chat, my man. He goes, I'm talking about on the defense side of the ball. We got Miami, Washington, Dallas, Kansas City, Bills, 49ers, Dallas. Why open up the playbook with the exotic stuff before that? Well, I don't think it's exotic though. I mean, I don't think pressing up on 3rd and 3. I don't think it's exotic though. I just think it's just a tweak. I mean, we're not talking about change. I'm not talking about changing the whole system. I'm just talking about tweaking things a certain bit, like a 3rd and 3, like 3rd and 3. Play your corners up, press. That's all you need to do. You probably get out of so many more third downs if you just did that. That's all. We're talking about just tweaking stuff. I'm not talking about like changing everything around. And they're going to have to do things different when they play Miami. Like when they play Miami, I get being 8 yards off the ball. Because
on Tyreek Hill, at least.
I get it.
Right.
That's what you're going to do it. I get it. But when you play Dallas, punch CeeDee Lamb in the mouth. He's a look
what they did with Tampa. Dude, perfect. Two things I want to say. The first thing I want to say is the Tampa Bay, Mike Evans. So we did a good job on him in the first half. I mean, he only had 12 yards. And then when the Eagles decided, like, let's play conservative, he single-handedly just got every reception and scored on us. Like, his statistics went up so fast just from that one drive. Secondly, okay, the Rams the last 3 games have won by 7 points or less. They killed Seattle. They killed Seattle 30-13. They only lost against the 49ers by a touchdown. They lost against the Bengals by 3, and they won against the Colts 29-23. So really, I think this is the best team that the 49ers, early in the season. So maybe it was a bad game by the 49ers, but I think up to date, this is the best team they're facing on their schedule right now as of who they faced already. I think this is a test for them as well as it's a test for us. So,
yeah. I mean, obviously, I think at the end of the day, I mean, because DM says we're like 2 negative Andys. Yeah, I've heard that before. It's funny because we could do a video like this and it'll be like, you'll get a comment saying you too negative, and then like 2 comments later is like you're too positive all the time. It's like it's just how somebody takes what you're saying and from their own perspective. You got to just say what you think and let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
You guys speak the truth. Keep it. It's why I watch you guys over the network bullshit. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you. I mean, you know, we're just saying what we're worried about.
It pisses me off.
It doesn't bother you. It triggers. No, it used to bother me. It used to bother me all the time. But I realized that it's just like I started reading comments where it was like one person was saying I'm negative, the next person saying I'm positive, and it's like this. They just watched the same video, and I started realizing people just take what they want to hear and amplify their own perspective of what they want to hear or they don't want to hear, and there's nothing you can do about it. You just got to speak your mind and let the chips fall where they may.
As content creators, we have to nitpick at things. Like there's always something to talk about. You always got to take the good with the bad every single game. It all can't be perfect. I don't care if look, here's a question for you, 500. If the Eagles are winning close games till the end of the season, do you think they're in trouble in the playoffs? If they just say they lose 3 games this year, okay? But every game they have won, it's always been close. They have never had. Do you worry going to the playoffs if you don't have a comfortable game where you don't have that full concrete from first quarter to fourth quarter, a concrete start to a concrete finish? Do you think if it's too close every single time before the playoffs, do you think it's trouble?
Not really.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, because I mean it could be a sign, but I also think that there's something about tight games. Like I would be more concerned if you're blowing everybody out every week and it's too easy. When it's tough and you got to sweat these games out, I feel like it builds character and it builds a confidence in the team that they know that they can win those type of games, which I think you've got to deal with when you're in the playoffs. So to me, it's actually the opposite. Blowing out teams every week would make me feel more uncomfortable. How about you?
No, I mean, I feel like these are characteristic building wins for the Eagles.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I would like, the Eagles have one in front. The Eagles have, one, came from behind, pause. The Eagles have one in overtime. The Eagles have played in bad weather. The Eagles have almost done everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah. A little of everything, which is good. Which is definitely good.
I mean, for like relaxation reasons, I would love to sit back and watch them just destroy a team tomorrow, 42-0. That would be great. I mean, I'm not super worried about it.
I'm not going to pump my chest like every week and go over the line. Like I got to take it game by game by game. I cannot stretch myself over the line and say this team is going to do this team is going to do that, or this team is going to be bad, which I don't think this team is bad. I think there is fixable things. You went into an offseason with 2 new coordinators. I didn't think we would have this much of a problem with Brian Johnson since he was around Steichen the whole year. I didn't think this would happen, but I think, and I talk about this every week on the Philly Shakedown. Every week I talk about the offseason because I think that was a huge part of it. Everyone doesn't think so. The Eagles barely played. The guys haven't had time to gel together with a new coordinator, and I think that totally affected us, especially the first game, short week, game on Sunday, game on Thursday. It's crazy, dude.
Oh, I totally agree. I think it definitely affects you, and that's what I'm saying. This is a good team. This is a team that hasn't even played their best yet, and they're still beating teams. I mean, they're still winning, and they haven't even played anybody. I mean, they haven't even played up to their best yet. Philly D says, why was Hector timed out? I don't know why Hector was timed out. I don't believe it was on purpose, whoever did it, because I'm reading his comment. Hector said, I got my Jalen Hurts jersey. It came in the mail yesterday. Congratulations, Hector. How do you like it, man? I'm sorry, timeout. I think it probably was an accident because I don't think he would have been timed out for that. Morgan Holmes, thank you for super chat. He goes, we are undefeated and we are like a win is a win, right? Keep the same energy when a loss is a loss. We are the best team in the league. Act like it. We are acting like it. If you're the best team in the league, but if you're the best team in the league, you have to have high standards. People who really believe they have the best team in the league are not afraid to talk about their weaknesses or where they need to be better at. I do believe the Eagles are the best team in the league, and I do believe that the Eagles haven't even played like it yet. But if I didn't believe that they were the best team, I would, have to try to
Philly. We're starting to see it. See, now we're starting to see it now because when we talk, this is what we last year is a perfect example. Literally, like we were dealing with this last year where we were nitpicking at what Jonathan Gannon was doing defensively. Like, we had a high-powered offense last year that really saved us. If we didn't have an offense last year, this team wouldn't have went far on top of Jonathan Gannon's defense. Let's be clear about that. But I don't want, like, I feel like every time I read the comment section that I have to feel like I can't celebrate a win, or I can't feel like I can't nitpick this win and making me feel bad that I can't nitpick anything. I don't think that's right. I don't think it's, I don't know.
You definitely have to talk. Like, listen, when they win, I'm the happiest dude in the world. I do my cigar video. I don't really talk about the things that I worry about, because that'll come during the week when we talk about game planning and the next game and where we want to see, because that's all part of it, I do think tomorrow has a lot to do with the way that they're going to come out and approach this game. What I'm saying and what we're saying is the Eagles have all the talent in the world, but they got to be put in better positions. That's all we're saying. True, I don't think that's a big deal. Hulk says, a member for 29 months. Thank you so much, man. Because we had 6 close games last year. I think we were fine. We were fine. Think about all those games early last year. One of the things that really drove me crazy last year was we were blowing teams out by halftime. And we give up all that back.
I know.
For a team that's so worried about giving up the giant big play, they would buy 1,000 paper cuts. They would just let these teams back in the fourth quarter. It drove me nuts, Fugly Gang, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, I noticed that one cornerback would be only 5 yards off the ball and even press, and the other cornerback is 8 yards off our ball. The D works amazing against the bunch. Yeah, in those bunch formations, I think they've done, I'm trying to remember, but I think for the most part they've done okay. It's when the outside 2 corners on either side are 8 yards off and it's 3rd and 3. That's when I have an issue, To me, overall, when I look at this game, though, I mean, I think that I think this game is going to come down to the lines. I think the Eagles' defensive line is better than their offensive line, and I think the Eagles' offensive line is better than their defensive line, even though they have Aaron Donald. And I think that the Eagles' lines will end up wearing out the Rams, and they will win this game because of it. I do think that, but we'll see.
And it's really sad because I feel like the thing we were worrying about the most going to the season, well, at least after the first couple games, that we've been really worrying about special teams more than our defense, to be honest. And I feel like I'm worried about our defense more than anything, because I feel like the scheme is not going to change, and we're not going to shadow on the best receivers, and they're going to move offenses are going to move their guys all over the place. 5 to 7 yards, tight ends and receivers are going to be open. We can't generate a pass rush. We just can't. You're not giving these guys a chance. I think you have a lot more sacks, and sacks aren't everything. I get it, but you'd have a lot more better statistics. We're making teams look very good right now. And that's why we're 27th against the pass. You're not winning a playoff game playing like this defensively. It's that your offense can't bail you out. I mean, it's just, I'm not saying the offense has bailed the team out every single game, but there is good talent on this team. Like, a lot of players last year bailed out Jonathan Gannon. That's because of the talent that we had last year. Now it's really hard. It's really hard to say if we have to wait for a loss to. And I feel like the only time we're going to lose this year, and I feel like the first loss, whenever it happens, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's a couple weeks, whether it's a few weeks ahead, it's going to be because of this defense. I
think it will be too. I think it will be too. And Bears Den Media says the defense is 100% our biggest weakness, and I don't even think it's a talent thing. I just think it's a scheme thing. I think, and that's what I'm saying. If Desai adjusts this defense tomorrow, I think they could be lights out and really stifle the Rams. I think they have the talent to do it. They just got to put themselves in better positions. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, I was gonna talk about somebody positive, because I think that Nicholas Morrow has been absolutely fantastic. He's really showed that he could play, and I think he's your starting. I think you got to let Jacoby Dean come off the bench, because there's no way I'm taking Nicholas Morrow out.
That's gonna piss me off. I mean, as much as I want Jacoby Dean to play so badly, like, he's already been hurt 2 times already, and it's already been hurt twice, and you can't. you're going to ruin the mojo of this linebacker group, which, trust me, like, we put no money into this position. And if we have something with this linebacker group, we got to take advantage of it, and we just have to let it go the way it is the rest of the year. So I'm actually a little surprised that Morrow is, but I didn't think Morrow, because really, didn't have a bad offseason, but didn't expect him to really, this is one game we're talking, a couple games we're talking about here. So, I mean, a Pro Bowl numbered game against Washington was great. So hopefully they keep it up. So see.
Yeah, I mean, he had 3 sacks last week. I mean, that's a hell of a game.
11 tackles.
He's looked good, and even Zach Cunningham looked good. And surprisingly, I'm not too concerned about the linebackers right now. I'm just more concerned about the scheme more than anything else. I'm just concerned about how they're playing the corners. Rico says Reddick needs a good game more. I think Reddick is on the verge of like a 2-3 sack game. Like I felt like in that Washington game, like, man, there were times I thought he was about to get a sack. He got one, but he could have had at least 2 other ones in that game. To me, I think Reddick is going to be fine. I do.
Yeah, I have no issue.
Yeah.
No issue.
Yeah, Khalil says blitzing as Morrow had 3 sacks. I agree. And let me tell you, they could have had another 2-3 sacks if they would have played a little press or those corners up a little more, Here's a question I have for you. Let me change the subject, but the punter is being called up, I think, for the 3rd time, right? I think this is 3rd time. So what's the plan with the punter? Are they going to cut him and then sign another punter and then put that punter on practice squad for 3 weeks and then cut another punter and then keep bringing him up on the practice squad? Because
why would they do that?
Why don't they have a punter on the permanent roster?
I think it's just the way they have to do it.
Why do they keep bringing him off the practice squad? You get 3 times you can call a guy up and bring him down. Are they going to keep this guy, or are they going to let him go?
So when you bring a guy up to the active roster after that game legally, are they automatically just by default put to practice squad immediately?
Yeah, I think you could put back to practice squad. Yeah.
No, I'm saying, is that automatic, or is that the Eagles' decision to put him back to practice squad and move him up again?
They get 3 times.
Right.
Decision 3 times. So what I'm saying is there an interest in putting him on the full-time roster, or are they going to cut the punter and bring another punter in and put that punter on a practice squad for 3 weeks?
So they could like keep that spot open.
Right.
I don't think so.
I've
never seen that.
No, me neither. But what did he do really? I mean, he had 1 good punt and 1 bad punt, I think. Right? Was that what?
I guess
I can't remember. I don't think he did really anything.
It's 1 game.
Our punter is bad. Yeah, I mean, it's 1 game. I'm just saying. But I wonder what the situation with that is going to be. Jess says, what up, Phil? How about the Phillies? We talked about that outside of the show. 3-0, game 1, and they're going to win the World Series this year. I really believe it.
Jake Elliott too, man. I mean, he got NFC Special Teams Player of the Week 2nd time already. I mean, he's looking like the next Justin Tucker right now. I mean, he's in practice this week, really kicking 70, 72 yarders. Like, he's really trying to test himself. When we really need him the most. And that's great. It's a Jake great fallback to have.
Absolutely fantastic. He's been fantastic. Torville says Nick believes in Ben not break defense and not giving up the big play. He's very analytic driven. I think the defensive coordinators are trying to scheme to match his vision. I hate the philosophy. Yeah, I mean, you could be right. You could be right. Hopefully we'll make enough of an adjustment that it'll be good. I think Jalen Carter is going to have a big game tomorrow. I do. I think Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis both have a monster game. I just got this feeling they're going to have a monster game. I really got the feeling that this game is going to be very much like that Chargers game after we beat the Giants in 2017. I think we're going to throw the ball. We're going to move the ball. But I think the big plays are going to be – I think they're going to run the ball. I think DeAndre Swift's going to have a big game.
Yeah, should be interesting. Should be interesting.
Baron says, I hate when the defenses are softer than wet toilet paper. I agree. I agree with you.
Dude, I could see when you play soft zone as well, when you have a lot of injuries in your secondary. That I could definitely see. If you have a lot of, not enough guys at the terminology for the week and can't get the, to make the call. Maybe they're not great at making the calls. There's just a little bit of a learning curve maybe, and they have to play back, and that makes sense. But
yeah, I think it's not like I don't mind doing different things, but just mix it up and make it fit the down and distance. If it's 3rd and 3, you don't have to do that. That's all I'm saying.
True.
Now,
what do you think? I have a question. What do you think about the rest of the NFC since we've seen Washington lose? What do you think the matchups going into Sunday with the Giants and the Cowboys and that bloodbath game against the 49ers?
So I think the Giants are going to get their ass kicked.
Miami?
I think by Miami.
Or Buffalo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Miami. I think they play Miami tomorrow, and then they got Buffalo next week. One's in Miami, one's in Buffalo.
Jesus.
So I think the Giants, they might come out and they might make this a close game if Miami comes out, takes them lightly. But I think Miami ends up winning the game, and I think I don't think it'll be close at the end of the day. The Dallas 49ers game, I think the 49ers are going to win that game. I think it'll be probably a pretty close game, but I just think that with the way McCaffrey's playing, I just don't know how Dallas is going to stop him. I mean, he's literally could be the MVP of the league right now. So I got San Francisco winning. I got the Giants losing, Dallas losing, Washington already lost, and then I think we win. I have 31-20 tomorrow, Eagles winning. Joseph D says he thinks it's going to be a statement game, 38-16. What are your what's your score prediction for tomorrow?
31-17. I think they're going to separate, and I'm hoping, because I feel like every week I'm saying this, and I feel like this is going to be the game where the offense is really going to turn up even more, and I think Jalen Hurts is going to look the most comfortable in this game. We talked about Jalen Hurts the last couple of weeks, especially that Washington game, where a lot of fans are starting to say that Jalen Hurts looks slow, his running style, like he's just not looking like we've seen him run fast at times. I think there's a lot of, and I think you've mentioned this, and I definitely agree with it, that I think the coaches are putting a lot into his head where he's not going to take the big hits that, maybe he has to make, whether he's going to pass it, whether he's going to run it. Oh, if I run this way, I'm going to run the 2. I think there's a lot of stuff going on in his mind right now that the coaches are really trying to not let him do. And I think we all agree that Jalen Hurts took a lot of hits beginning of the season, like the first couple of weeks, he was taking way too many hits. So, right. I think that's a whole nother thing too, but
yeah. Joseph, these member for 13 months. Thank you so much. He goes, we are going to have a statement game. I'm at work. Yeah, well, I could see that because I consider that Chargers game in 2017 a statement game. And I feel I'm getting that kind of vibes tomorrow. It's going to end up being that kind of game. Backyards Bird Podcast. Thank you for Super Chat. Ike Reese says off coverage on press is up to the cornerback. Well, I mean, then if I'm Desai, I have to tell my corners that on certain plays you have to come up. When it's 3rd and 3, you've got to press. You've got to take that chance, because I got to trust that my defensive line is good enough to get home, that you're not going to have a play develop 40 yards downfield. So if that's the case, I don't know to what extent that is. I don't think that's for every type of defense. Steve A. Taver Super Chat goes 500 Joey. Big questions, tits or ass. Man. Joey can. I'm married.
No. Yeah, no. He said 500 first. He said 500 and Joey. So 500's name is first. So he's got to answer first, loud and clear in that house of yours.
1. I'm a 1 guy. I'd say the number 1, the first one.
I'd say the first 2. And I think the face has to come into question too, but it has to match up.
Yeah, of course.
I think everything has to match up well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, I don't want a stomach that I can't tell the difference where the stomach starts, and that is. Yeah. Poison for sure, but I'm hoping that our interior disrupts all that shit. Stafford will have it efficient with that bad hip, stay upright. Well, that's if you can hit Stafford early. See, that's what I think. If they come out and hit him early and they play up and the present and it throws the Rams off. And once you rattle Stafford and you got him rattled the game, I think you got him the rest of the game. I do.
True. Yeah, I mean, you got to watch out for he's got that little hip thing going on too. So, I mean, he's going to get hit. He's going to get smacked around tomorrow, no doubt.
Yeah. C23 says, mark my words, man, tomorrow after the game at 5 p.m. be here. I have no idea what we're talking about. I have no idea. I'll be streaming the Cowboys game at 5 tomorrow, my time. Anthony says, you think Sirianni is in love with Gainwell? I think he takes too many snaps from Swift. I think he does too. And it's not. I understand they don't want to overuse Swift, but it's like I don't like when you're, 2-3 series of no Swift. Like I think they got to do a better job mixing it in. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree. Using way too much, but more important downs.
Yeah. Let's. I know, John. You might be right about that. Bron says, looking forward to the stream tomorrow. Yeah. Are you? What are your plans for tomorrow? Are you streaming just the Eagles? What are your plans?
Yeah, I got some stuff to do in the afternoon tomorrow. So I'll be streaming the Eagles game tomorrow. That's the plan tomorrow.
Yeah, I got some more Black Rifle coffee because that stuff makes me all wired. I'll be streaming the Giants game, the Eagles game, the Niners game, post game, cigar smoking. So it's going to be like a long day tomorrow. Long day. Yeah. Is Nick in love with Gainwell or is Howie in love with Gainwell and makes Nick play him more because he was a draft pick? Great question. I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. It's a great question. I don't know. The Bears TV says, what's up, Philly? What's going on, man? Steve H says, thank you for Super Chat. Goes, so shaking my head, thought Joey would be a team ass.
How do you know, though? That's the question. Like I said, I think everything just has to match, dude. Like it just depends on the person, really.
It's a personality.
Shut the fuck up.
Mark G says, Philly Joey, you guys have the best content on YouTube. Appreciate you both so much. Trade deadline is almost here. What moves do you expect Howie to make? Thank you, man. We appreciate that.
Appreciate it,
Joey,
man.
Somebody said something nice. We got a nice compliment. Thank you. I think I do expect them to make a move. I really think they're going to go after another safety. And I like Sidney Brown, but for whatever reason, they don't give him enough snaps. I think they're going to look for a safety to come in at least for 1 year. So I think a guy like a Jeremy Chin could be the perfect guy because a guy like Jeremy Chin is at the last year of his contract. So I could see that,
You're looking at Carolina. You're saying they're losing every game so far. Like, take advantage of the teams that are losing a lot of games right now, and that they want to move on and get some draft capital, and just start calling those teams because I feel like you'll get a bite on something. Jeremy Chin would be great. I think we still need a hybrid player. I heard earlier in the week, that there was plans to Sidney Brown to cross train at nickel this week, which I heard that's what he was doing this week by one of the beat writers put out at practice, that he was playing safety and he was playing nickel this week, or that's the plan. And I feel like we need more of that. I feel like, even you have Roby right now, it's still not enough. I feel like you still have to cross train guys this way. If there are injuries, you could move guys around and not miss a heartbeat. So I think they got to look for that guy. No doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. If this is Nick's defensive scheme, it does not go well. Blow up the coaching, hire Rex Ryan. Well, Rex would definitely play something more that I like, but
yes,
like I said, at this point, I just think they got to just tweak it a little bit. Well, I'm not talking for dramatic changes on defense. I'm talking about just putting guys in a better position, especially on third and short, so you can get off the field.
True.
Vegas is getting their money. Dolphins lose to the Giants. Wow, that would be a big upset for the Giants. I mean, Giants really need that kind of win to save their season because
God, how?
I don't know, but they need it because they're sorry. They are.
There's so many problems. Like it's not even just the play. Like it's not even like what the Giants, like they're fighting with their fan. I mean, it's the players are fighting with the fans on social media. Like it's so out of whack right now. Like they're finding out. I don't know what the coaching staff thinks. I mean, Daniel Jones is obviously doesn't have the weapons he needs, but I think he's starting to prove that he's not the guy either because he's missing wide open guys too the last few weeks. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, and if you guys are new to the channel, hit the like. Make sure you guys subscribe. We got about 700 people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're in my channel, click the link. Go sub up Joey Shakes. We'll both be streaming the game tomorrow. It should be fun. M says tomorrow I get my first taste of Five Guys for the game.
Ew.
Pause. I always go to dinner with my wife, and she wants to do Five Guys. Pause. They have top tier meat. Pause.
Oh,
but they are very greasy. My stomach's going to hurt after. I don't know what the heck.
That is fucking disgusting. God.
I like pause. I like Five Guys too, actually.
Have top tier meat. Oh my god.
Top tier meat. Then her stomach hurts. Pause. Oh man. Do you think he set me up for that one, or you think
yes, that was totally a setup.
That was totally set up. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure it out. Like that's a pretty good one. Anthony says, I think Nick needs to put his foot in his staff's ass. Left out. Stop being nice guy, Nick. I agree.
Yeah, I wonder if I haven't seen a moment. What was the game where he yelled at the side? I think it was when they played perimeter defense. I forgot what game that was where he yelled at him.
I think it was a Vikings game.
Yeah.
Wasn't it week 2 Vikings? What's up, Marcus? How are you doing, man?
Yeah, and you saw last second, him yell at the side as he walked by him. I haven't really seen the coaches really battle it out sometimes. I don't know, or talk it out. I don't know.
I mean, nothing as good as Buddy Ryan punching his the offensive coordinator in the face. Nothing like that. But
those days are over.
Yeah. The Bears shit, wow, you guys like Five Guys. What? Five Guys Burgers, the restaurant. Pause.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Let's see. Louisville safety job, Joe Rex Holmes. I don't know. Rex Holmes. I don't know. Is that real? Oh, good Philly. Yeah, my man. People say pause more than they actually speak. I know. I feel like I have to now. I can't get away with it. We
got to make a shirt. I think it's time to make a Philly Shakedown pause shirt. ... Yeah, that's it. Easy.
Phillies won. Yeah, they did. Not tomorrow I get to go to Five Guys. Nothing like that, right?
No.
Let's see. Can't even read, but know the meanings. I know, right? Are you supposed to see that negativity you see when the players do it and everyone freaks out? What do you mean? You're supposed to see that.
Meaning, when we're talking about
the coaches fight and then the players. When the players do it, it's a big deal. I know. I think it gets overblown. I thought the Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown thing was so overblown. God. I mean, it was no, it's dude, those guys have to be able to talk and communicate. Every time they want to make a big deal of it. The media really tried to they really tried.
And on top of the people that want to make it worse and make AJ Brown look like the bad guy that everyone thinks he is. And it was cool. I forgot who said that. I think Delaney Walker, that played with AJ Brown, said some things. Remember he said, I like that AJ Brown's a diva because he just I knew when I got into the league and I teamed up with AJ Brown, he just had that pushback attitude and I don't know. That's what you need. But no, we want the receiver that's the nice guy that barely gets any catches, and he's a great to human society.
I want dogs, man. I want guys that want the ball. Hosea Jones, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, Nick is overriding Johnson on curtain calls. Nick called the run on 3rd and 11 versus Washington. If this is happening, then something that's something to worry about. Yeah, it could be. Listen, what? What I read?
No. It's something else I read. Yeah, it's coming up.
So yeah, I mean, my thought is that 3rd and 11 play was horrendous, and what's even worse is, first of all, the call was bad, but then why run Gainwell, who fumbled the ball?
Right,
he literally fumbled the ball. T.L. Hopkins, say for Super Jacobs, they say Jamar Chase requested to trade. Really? Is that true?
I don't know. He's barely getting any.
I mean, I have him in fantasy. I know how it's been, but man, I would love him to get traded anywhere but any rivalries to us. But Cincinnati would be insane to do it. You know what I mean? They would be insane to do it. Yes, overblown all the time. It's overblown. I agree. Let's see here. I don't know. I mean, that's the first I've heard of it. You know what I mean?
I heard the T. Higgins news that there's like teams have been calling to try to get T. Higgins. That's definitely true.
Yeah, well, I think he's up for a contract extension too.
Mm-hmm.
You just sign. How are you going to sign him and Chase and Burrow? Listen, that's something we're going to have to deal with in a couple of years, because we probably got one more year after this year. What Brown and Devontae, because Devontae's going to get a contract extension at the end of this year, and it most likely won't kick in till the following year. And then you got to figure, are they going to be able to keep both those guys? So we'll
depends
see.
on. I think the relationship with Jalen Hurts is going to depend on, especially with AJ. If Devontae Smith signs, I think it. At the end of the day, Devontae Smith should be a Philadelphia Eagle for the rest of his career. AJ Brown wasn't a homegrown talent here. He's a great talent. Yeah. I think the only thing that's really connecting him to this team is obviously Jalen Hurts being his best friend. So I think that decision might help. I mean, who knows? But if his numbers are going away the way they are right now, it's going to be tough for him to take less money staying in Philadelphia. That's all I got to say.
No,
it's crazy.
Yeah. No, I think they gotta. I think you gotta pony up and pay them both.
I think you have to.
You gotta just do it.
If your cap hits for a quarter, and that's the good thing, the cap hits for the quarterback are nothing, because that last year is his highest cap hit, which is like $30 million, which he will never see that. We will never see that cap number because they're probably going to extend him again by that time. You're not paying running backs right now. Howie strictly focuses on the trenches. So I think they could do it. They could afford to do it. And who knows what happens with Dallas Goedert? What's his contract up? And I got to check that out, because I wonder if Albert or I don't know if they feel like they have somebody else on this roster that could be a pure starter in a few years. So who knows?
Yeah.
See.
Nino Brown says, cut that pause stuff out. Knock it off. All right. I'm trying. It's like I feel like I have to say everything. I'm like talking to my wife. I'm like, hey, yo, baby, pause. And she's like, why would you say pause that? I said, I don't know. I don't even know why. No way we could get rid of AJ. You watching him? No, well, you can't get rid of him. You're just gonna have to pay them both. You can't get rid of Devontae, and you can't get rid of AJ. Devontae will get an extension at the end of the year, or will they get an extension, or he don't get an extension, right? He gets a pickup. They pick up his contract. They pick up that year this year, right? I think that's what happened. So at the end of this year, you got to decide whether you're going to pick up his option year, and then you can give him an extension. But it won't kick in till the following year. So you're just gonna have to pony up, pay those guys, and then maybe you're gonna have to take a loss somewhere else. I mean, if you're not gonna play your corners and man, then don't pay them.
That's why you have 10. That's why you have 10 draft picks next year. The Eagles have 2 second-round picks and a bunch of picks next year. So we really have to start calculating, which we have. We've been drafting very, very well, and this keeps continuing, because the more players that you could draft that are very good, the less you have to spend in free agency, and the more productivity you're going to have on the field. So I think it really comes down to us drafting well. I think once you start, the cap numbers start to rise up a little bit. Right now, we're fine. You said Devontae Smith, whether they pick up the option or they give them the extension, it won't kick into the next year anyway. So, the Eagles have a lot of time. So, I think it comes down to really the drafting. Really,
yeah. I agree. Leon says, "Yo, Philly, thoughts are soccer, aka real football?" No, my thoughts on soccer are simple. I don't understand why kick a ball when you can pick it up and run with it. That's as simple as I can make soccer. I don't get it. Why kick it when you can pick it up and run with it? So that's kind of how I look at it.
I mean, it's a bigger sport. I mean, it's bigger than the NFL, isn't it?
It's boring. All they do is kick the ball back and forth. Nobody scores a goal. I hate it. I can't watch it, dude. I can't watch it. It's like the games are like 1-0, 2-1. You're gonna do a goalie kick. Everybody grabs their crotch. penalty kick, grab your crotch. It's like, I don't know. I hate it. I hate it. And the clock doesn't even stop. The ball goes out of bounds. The
No.
clock's still running. Like, why is the
Yeah.
clock still? I don't know. I don't think you just want to grab the ball, pick it up, and start running. Why do you want to kick it? No, I can't. I just can't get into soccer, dude. I can't do it. Can't do it. Rugby, I could probably get into because at least they hit each other.
Right.
Chris, they were super takers. Yo, 500 Joey, you heard Evan Neal insulted the Giants fans, calling them sheep and flip hot dogs or burgers somewhere. Yes, I know. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love the everything, that all the wheels are coming off the Giants. Oh man, the Giants are having just such a great year.
Yeah, I think it's with them now. I think it's more of like, it's more of a coaching aspect now. It's not even like certain players. I feel like they had time to be aggressive and go get, like DeAndre Hopkins, or go get, what I mean? Go get certain players that, they haven't been aggressive to get anybody in that coaching staff. I think they have a very good coaching staff, but they're just, you pay your quarterback and you're doing nothing around that roster at all. But I don't care.
Now, Jonathan Taylor got an extension today. Did you?
Oh
see that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So Taylor, he gets an extension. So now you got to figure the Giants now have an idea of what they got to pay Barkley. I think the floor at the very bottom is $14 million. I honestly think that if the Giants lose the next 2 games, I think they might trade Barkley. Like I don't even see them keeping him. What's the point?
I don't even think he's a Giant next year. He's coming off this it's a 1-year deal. Was it a franchise tag or a 1 year? What is it? Is it a franchise tag? I forgot what the hell it is. He got like $2 million, $1 million more. I don't know. He didn't get really much more than he really wanted. But
Nino Brown tells me not to say pause, and he says pause. I didn't say pause, did I? I didn't say it this time. Khalil says we have a nickel corner. Our corners, period. Our youth movement is happening right now in season. It is happening, and I think that I think some of that we have to realize that some of these young guys are going to go out there and they're going to make mistakes. I would rather have Sidney Brown on the field. Now he was hurt last week, but what do I need? Like Edmonds, who can't pick an easy interception. I'd rather have Brown out there making mistakes and playing. I would rather the young guys play now and then start to, get used to have things slow down as the playoffs approach.
Right.
So I get it. Josh Siegel, thank you for the super chat. He goes, are you worried the Giants will be so bad they get Caleb Williams? That would be a nightmare. I am worried about that. Yeah. Because I feel like the Giant players are about to quit. Like I think if they go out and they get their ass kicked, let's say they get
losing the locker room
by Miami, their locker room's gone. We've seen the Giants just flat out quit before, and I think they're capable of that again.
I think
the Bears are gonna lose.
The Bears could beat them, no doubt. I think the Bears are a better team. No, I think just because I think roster wise, when it on paper they look way better. I think any team does, because offensively, when you look at the Giants, we said this at the beginning of the year. We said when you look at the Giants offense, who are you worried about? Like, what is, like, when you look at that team, first glance, what are you seeing that makes you like, oh my God, Daniel Jones, and you know what I mean? Like, that's how it's been. And then when they played the Cowboys, right? When they played the Cowboys at the primetime game, the announcers are saying, oh, look what they did last year. Look at they're coming to the season with a lot of speed and I'm like, dude, like what? I think the biggest mistake the Giants are making right now is not playing Hyatt. I think that's the biggest mistake they're not making. I think that guy is going to be a player in a year or two.
I think Hyatt's going to be good too, but I just think that to draft him and then think he was your outside threat this year was such a mistake. Like they didn't get Daniel Jones. I don't like Daniel Jones. I don't think he's any good, but they didn't get him any help. Waller was not enough.
I think Wan'Dale Robinson's a good pick. I think he's great in the slot. You can move him around and use him as like a shifty receiver, like reverses out of the backfield. You could do so much with him. Like, they have some speed, but they don't have that dominant, just that pure number one dominant threat. Like, that's, Waller, I think, is a good player. He's on a shitty team right now, the highest paid tight end right now. So, it's What happened?
Yeah, I agree. Isabel says 500 will be 5-0 tomorrow. Flag will fly. Yeah, I agree with you. I think we'll be 5-0 tomorrow too. I think we win. I do. Nino says 500. You were talking about soccer and grabbing crotches too much, bro. You told me not to say pause. I was trying to. I was taking your advice. And now I need to say pause.
Did you say you're grabbing crotches or grabbing your own crotch? If you're grabbing your own crotch, it's not bad.
They grab their own crotches in the penalty kicks. You
Yeah.
ever see that? They all sit there and grab their own crotches. I would just have an extra big cup on. Yeah, Joseph, thank you so much for the super chat. He goes, do you think Robe will make a big impact? Roby, I think Roby can be a decent pick. I think he could actually be what Patrick Robinson was to the Eagles in 2017. But I think it's going to take time. I don't think early on. I don't think it'll be right away. I think it would be like end of the year type thing.
Yeah, that signing was interesting because the last thing I heard, it was from a week ago. It was last week, and he worked out for the 49ers like a week and a half ago, something like that. And then I was like, okay, he's off the table now. And I guess he didn't sign. Maybe they want him as more of a depth piece, and so he took the better option with the Eagles to say, you know what, they're undefeated right now. He wants to win a Super Bowl in his career. He's 31-32. I know a lot of people are saying, every time someone gets to this team, it's very hard that the Eagles sign a 31, 32-year-old guy on this team because we have so much youth on this team. There's nothing wrong with bringing in a veteran talent to your defense. With a really good defense around him, he could play really well. So I'm giving it a chance, seeing what happens. So we'll see.
Ice says, what do you guys think about Eli Ricks? I love Eli Ricks. I
There's
think
talent.
Eli Ricks play.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw what he did in that final preseason game with Pittman Jr. I mean, he played him great. I would like to see Eli Ricks get some playing time, but for whatever reason, they don't do that. Sometimes this team, for whatever reason, it just seems like to me that the guys who obviously showed more flashes and seem like they have a little more talent, it doesn't matter. They don't fully trust in him right away. Like I don't believe. I honestly don't believe if Gainwell does not miss the week 2 game versus Minnesota, I don't believe right now at this point we would know what Swift is. We would still be saying we haven't seen anything Swift. Or I think we lucked into that.
Or we're saying that even with Eli Ricks, or we're saying that they don't value preseason games, but at the same time, he made the roster for a reason. I mean, they definitely took that Colts game into account when he was on Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman, pure starters in the league, the pick 6 and a couple deflections on the Ravens as well. We haven't had a corner. I mean, they kept 7 cornerbacks on this roster. I think they failed this offseason trying to cross-train a lot of guys. I think they wasted too much time. They kept a lot of cornerbacks figuring, okay, maybe they had to be cross-training cross-training besides Bradbury. Who else has they really been cross-training? I don't think they've cross-trained one other cornerback we've had on the outside. Nobody. Not one.
Yeah,
Nobody.
I don't know. But I do like Ricks. I do. I think he's a player. It's gonna be an interesting game tomorrow because I really think if they make the right adjustments, I think they beat the crap out of this team. If they don't, I think it becomes a closer game than it needs to be. I still think we win in the end, but that's how I feel. Chris 30, David Super Chat goes, Joey, my friend who is a Saints fan, and I told him Roby's a good player. He say to me he is washed up. Yeah, I think that they probably think that, but I think he can still play. I'm hoping.
I get it. Like that's when you bring an older player to a team. That's what I feel like. That's kind of like what everybody says about 31, 32-year-old players that go on a roster. He's not going on to a rebuilding team right now. He's playing in a defense that has a lot of pieces, and he's getting an opportunity to start. And who knows? What they might sign for another year next year. I mean, who knows? Right. You know what I mean? Maybe they won't. Avonte Maddox is in big question next year because Avonte Maddox last year of his contract is last year's is next year in 24. He's got like a $10 million cap hit next year. There's no way the Eagles are extending him. I see them trading him, getting some draft capital for him because I think he has a lot of value, but the injury bug is the injury bug, and that's what he's had. He injured twice last year, injured twice this year on a season-ending injury. it's too much. I think it's time to move on, and they need to put someone else there. I'm not saying a 31, 32-year-old nickel corner is going to fix our problems for the future, but at least for a year, they have to do more in the offseason, training camp, preseason, get cross-train, give some guys more opportunities, and I think you're good. I think there's a lot of talent in this cornerback room. They just haven't exploited it yet. So it just needs more time. So
yeah, Neil Watson says Patrick Robinson was washed too. He takes off his Super Bowl ring to wash his hands all the time. Yeah, I mean they said he was washed up too. I mean we were all flipping out about him in preseason, and he was great.
Well, he originally he was playing on the outside, and then after they signed, I think it was after they signed Darby, that was like his last shot. They moved Patrick Robinson to the inside, and he ended up playing very well. He was originally on the outside, and he played horrible. The inside, and that was it. Game over.
Yeah, 500. You're in sack. Pause. Why are you not driving to L.A. for John? You need to be there again loud. It's like 9-hour drive. I'm not driving 9 hours.
Oh my God!
I'm not driving 9 hours.
Just got the limo.
Ain't doing it.
The gas is cheap.
Unless gas is like $7 a gallon.
Really?
Yeah, it's like $7 right now. It might be over $7 now. That's like it literally costs me like $165. Like, dude, it's like $7 and you can only put $100 in.
Are you driving both cars? Are you driving more than one vehicle like every day all week? Like more time, like a lot?
Yeah. I have my wife has a RAV4. She gets good gas miles, but me, I got a big Ford Expedition, dude, SUV. Like that thing burns gas, and it's like $165 to fill it up. But they only let you put $100 in at one sitting. So I have to go to 2 different gas stations. The thing used to be $65 a couple years ago. Now it's $168. I'm not driving out now. Patrick Robinson is so underrated for his contribution in 2017.
True that.
Yeah, that's a good question, Antonio. I don't think he is. Is Moro Ojomo playing tomorrow? Man, I hope so. I want to see him play. He got hurt in preseason. I don't think he is. But, I mean, we'll see. We'll see if he dressed.
I that's the thing. Like now that Fletch is out with the first line, who tags up with Jalen Carter? Like that's the thing now.
Well, it'd be Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter will be my starters.
Well, yeah, that's what. But I would say
and Street.
Yeah, Jalen Carter will have to. I think the plan is somebody is going to have to play more, and I think Jalen Carter needs to play more with both lines and rotate, and obviously in rotation. But I think he has to play more with the 2 lines, and then they can take him out and give him some rest. You want to play him the whole game, but I think he should have more reps in this game, no doubt. So
yeah. Leon Edwards says, "Yo, Philly, you should trade for Terrence Marshall Jr. Because Carolina's need for draft picks." Yeah, I mean, it could. This is why I think Jeremy Chin is a possibility. The Carolina Panthers do not have a first-round pick next year.
Oh.
So you could trade Jeremy Chin for a second, let's say, or a third. Like they could get some picks back. Do you realize the Bears have their first-round pick? So the Bears could potentially have the first and second overall pick. In
whose second pick do they have? Whose second first rounder? They have 2 firsts?
Yeah, they have Chicago has theirs and Carolina's.
Oh shit!
A week ago, they technically had the first and second pick in the draft. Both.
So they can literally they're lucky because they could press the reset button again and really start and fire people. They could start all over again. Like, and usually teams are in a good. I mean, they're in a bad position right now, but with those draft picks, they could easily fire coaches and reset the whole roster and trade Justin Fields. I mean, that would be the smart thing they should do. Get more draft capital. Yeah, no doubt.
Antonio says if we trade Carolina, it has to be Barnes or Chin. Well, that's why I think it's possible because Carolina needs draft picks. They need draft picks. So a few more weeks of them losing, they may look to do it.
Sure.
It's going to be interesting. Well, we're an hour and a half in. I can't believe it. We're an hour and a half in. Is there anything else, man, you want to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow's going to be a big day. And, I want to see this defense play a lot better. I want them to, make some adjustments and not play off the ball so much offensively. I'm not really worried about the offense too much. I'm more worried about maybe the running backs and how they're, how many times they're going to be using Swift in the game, how many plays is he going to take off. So we'll see what happens. But, I think this is a good matchup. I think this is the best team the Rams are facing. I think this is, we're going to see in question what the nickel spot's going to come to when it comes to, Bradley Roby, if he's going to actually start this game, since apparently somebody said he's activated for this game. And I don't want it to be close. I really want to separate. I want to, be a little comfortable and look dominant for one game at least, or try to, but we'll see. Should be a good game though.
So. I hope so. Marquis says, Philly Joe, in my opinion, the signing this offseason has to be Agent Zero. I really want to keep him too. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I would love to keep DeAndre Swift. I think he's a star. I think he's a star, and I think he's going to continue to have a monster.
Give him the ball more, and he will want to stay here. You're not going to be gifted an offensive line you're not going to be gifted an offensive line like this. That's a running back. What he's running with right now is a running back's dream. That's what it is. So
yeah, I agree. But I think the Eagles win tomorrow. I think at the end of the day, the strength of the Eagles, the offensive and defensive line, it will wear the Rams down. And I think that they'll win. But I would like to see some adjustments on defense. I'd like to see them play and adjust to what teams have done to them so far, especially in the secondary. You know what I mean?
True.
Bonzology, we were talking about that earlier. We were saying the same thing. Secondary has got to play better than they did against commies, and they have gone. We're now 5 weeks in, and we've watched quarterbacks pretty much all have the same game plan. It's time to make the adjustments, and I think they have the talent on defense to make the adjustments and then be fine. And so we'll see tomorrow. It's going to be interesting. If the Eagles can get to 5-0, if they're 5-0, and if everything happens like we think it's going to happen, where Dallas loses, the Giants lose, and you're talking about being up 2 games on Dallas already.
Yeah,
that's huge. That's a huge start.
It'd be the second time this season where the Eagles win the week too, if that happens. So it already happened once. So these are the best looking weeks. I mean, I don't have the Giants. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say because the Eagles they got Rams, and then they got the Jets. Right, Jets are next. They never lost to the Jets.
That Jets game is pissing me off, because I'm looking at the stats. I'm just like, Zach Wilson is gonna I'm telling you, Zach Wilson
I think that's your comfortable game right there,
bro.
I think that's your comfortable game right there. I think the Eagles blow the Jets out. The Eagles have never ever lost to the Jets
in history,
franchise history. Chris, thank you for super chat. Goes buying as a oh god, you're gonna get me. Damn. I appreciate the super chat. I can't read that without getting whatchamacallit. I probably, let me see if we got demonetized.
Like in 2 seconds.
I tried. I did the thing,
Yep.
I clicked on it. Did we get it?
I got it for some reason.
No, I'm not yet.
That's so weird. How do I get it? That's what I don't get. We're running off of 2. I don't get it.
I'll probably get it too. We got it last week. As soon as we mention that name, anything close, it goes demonetized. Then we have to go through manual review, and it takes 24 hours. And by that time, nobody watches it, and you lose all that money. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's the way it is. But I'm sure if you're demonetized, then I'm going to get it too.
It means partially. It doesn't mean purely demonetized. It just means partially.
Figure 70-80%.
Yeah,
of your revenue. It's gone. Yeah. What are you going to do? It happens. But I don't know. Is there anything else maybe you want to say on the way out?
Yeah, that's it. That's really it. We're just we're taking it week by week. Just got to get to 5-0. The next couple weeks are going to be before this Miami game. That's where that Miami game. I'm really aiming that game on Sunday night. We're in Kelly Greens and looking like a dominant football team. That's what I'm kind of looking for. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. But I think they win.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
Yeah, I think they win. I think I got 31-20. I think it's close early on. I think the Eagles pull away. I think that the lines take over and they dominate and and they work it out at the end.
True.
So I think that's what's going to happen.
Chris says, "Missed my super chat." Chris 30.
No, Chris, I read it. I read too many words. I can't read.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, Chris. He says the blank is a criminal. Blank approves of emergency blank, and blank $1 billion. I as soon as I read it, I get demonetized. I can't read it. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. Yeah. So, anyways, guys, we're gonna let you go. Joe, you'll be streaming the game tomorrow. I'll be triple header tomorrow. Pause. I'll be up early for the Giants game, and then Eagles, then the Niners, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I hear my cat crying, man. But yeah, so with that, we'll let you guys go. You guys take care. We will talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Joe, you want to say anything on the way out?
5 guys. All day.
All day.
All day.
There you go. Pause.
Pause. Peace.
Hey, we had one.
Yo, you gotta be motherfucking
You
kidding
gotta
me.
be kidding me. We have no time for one more play.
Look at this motherfucker
What are you doing?
running from
What
a.
are you doing?
To get off the field on 3rd down.
What was that bullshit?
That is not right.
Oh, that's some bullshit. What was that? We had no time for one more play.
We had an opportunity to win that game at the end.
But the referee screwed us. The brother screwed us.
I'm upset, but
The brother screwed us.
At least they fought back and tried.
only Cowboys games.
Yeah, you
The brother
literally.
screwed us. The brother screwed us.
It's going to end the way
We had an opportunity for one more play.